Check, check, check. Microphone check. 1, 2. Check, check, check. Mic check. 1, 2, 3. Now down to the meat of the matter. Track and field year. World Championship year. 116 days, 3 hours, 19 minutes, and 48 seconds to go. And it is expected to be epic. Welcome to Ride the Narrative, where it's okay to be curious. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell for our future video uploads, and drop a comment. World Championships, Budapest, 19th of August to August 27, 2023. Two major events that we are interested in. Well, we are interested in all events, but somehow we just feel like the Jamaican women and the Jamaican men and the US men are two very interesting group, two really interesting group, especially with the Jamaican women sweeping the last two world events, the Olympics and sweeping the last two world events in the 100s, the Olympics and the World Championship. We are wondering, will it be something similar this time around? Will Jamaica sweep in this event in the 100 meters, and will the US men sweep? Which of the two are more likely to sweep? Which of the two are more likely to sweep? So I compile a list of questions here just for laugh and giggles. And I have a video I put together. So let it go here. So Fred Curley. Can anybody actually beat Fred Curley in the 100 meters? Fred Curley is really known for 400, then 200, now 100. Now you see Noah Lyles and Trayvon Bromell. These two seems like competitors. They seems like they're challenging each other at all turns. Coleman, Christian Coleman, Marvin Bracey, and Marcel Jacobs. Can anybody beat these guys? We have Leslie Tobigo. Will anybody be able to challenge these guys? Can Jamaica challenge the US? And if Jamaica cannot challenge US, who can? Who can? So the first question of the US men, the most likely to sweep at World Championship in the 100-meter events. I'm thinking the US men might sweep 100 and 200. What are your thoughts? Drop a comment down below. If you can hear me as you comment, please like the video, share the video, subscribe. It's really important that I get the... Yes, welcome again to Red Narrative, where it's okay to be curious. Please like the video, please share the video, please subscribe. It's early, not too many people on the live, but we're still gonna power through it. Let's get it. US men most likely to sweep. So I'm expecting two different sweeps here. The US men and the Jamaican women in the 100-meter. The 200-meter, the US men is very likely to sweep, only that sometimes you have an Andre DeGrasse who comes up and he causes problem for everybody. So I want to say that the US men might sweep the 100-meter because they have done it before, and they're looking like the team to beat going into this one. We haven't seen a lot of good times from the US men as yet, but just from history, I'm wondering, is it the US men, after two, US men or Jamaican women, which are more likely to sweep? Fred Curley. Can anybody beat Fred Curley? Fred Curley was the 100-meter gold medalist at the previous World Championship, and so of it that it's one of the best time for athletics, track and field, because we have back-to-back World Championship and Olympics. These athletes have a chance of a lifetime, the opportunity to just build up their accolades in very, very quick and rapid succession. Very, very quick, very, very rapid, because you have events back to back to back. What do Civil, oblique Civil need to do to beat Marvin Bracy? As we can see that Marvin Bracy took down Civil in the last World Championship, and Civil looked like he was coming to form. He was running really good times. He was looking like the kind of athlete who would challenge for a spot on the podium. But Marvin Bracy, as determined as he was, he lost in the semi-final to Civil, but he edged him out in the final to get that spot on the podium. And that is showing the winning mentality that the United States men are bringing right now. Who will be able to beat Fred Curley? He's been running the best times. And then we have seen Marvin Bracy showing some determination. Trayvon Trayvon Brummel is another one of those athletes that you cannot sleep on. You definitely cannot sleep on Trayvon Brummel. But if anybody is to join the American, the US men on the podium, who would it be? Do you think the Oblique Seville, the Akeem Blake, they would be able to step up to the pace and get that coveted medal? Do you think that these men can lead resurgence for the Jamaican team? And again, if not, the Jamaican men, who do you think would be able to be to join the US men on the podium? If not the Jamaican men, I'm wondering, where is Marcel Jacobs? Because he won that 100-meter Olympic gold, but then we haven't heard from him, we haven't seen him. I'm wondering if he's only preparing for the Olympics, because next year is an Olympic year. It's a good opportunity for him to come again and defend his title, but we haven't seen much of him. And the last time we heard from him or about him, it was an injury report. And now the other big question is, will the Jamaican women pull off another sweep of the 100-meter at the World Championship? Now, the Jamaican women, they have been looking like the most consistent just from history. Jamaican women, the Shelley and Fraser Price, Elaine Thompson, and now recently Sherika Jackson, they have been looking like the most likely to sweep from the women lineup. But of the two lineup, I'm guessing the Jamaican women and the US men are the two most likely bunch to sweep. What are your thoughts? Drop a comment down below. Right, like, share, subscribe. If you're entering the live, please remember to like before you leave. Please drop a like before you leave. Which order do you think that the Jamaican would be likely to sweep in? We have Elaine Thompson, Shelley and Fraser, Sherika Jackson. Who do you think would get that fourth spot, if anybody? At the moment, we're just guessing that there is the big three will be taking the first. The big three will be taking the first three spot. Shelley and Fraser Price, she won't need to run to get into the World Championship. I'm sure she will be doing some running to get herself warm and get a feel of the event, to size up the competition. Because at the moment, we haven't seen a lot of competition from the big three. Sherika Jackson, she was out there in the Velocity Fest. She laid it all out on the track, getting a world leading time in 10.82. Elaine Thompson era, she entered and exit very quickly from that event. We didn't get a chance to see where she is or how she is. Now, she's a 200 and 100 meter specialist. She ran 400 meter. In that event, she slowed down. She kind of toned it down after the first 300 meter. Yes, Journey with Kelly, thank you so much for joining the live. Big up yourself, always here, day one. Thanks for the interaction. US sweeping the men event. I kind of agree with that one. The men 100 meter, and potentially they could sweep the 200 meter. But the big question is, who would be, if anybody was to disrupt that sweep, who would disrupt that sweep? Which country would disrupt that sweep? Because at the moment, last year, Oblique Civil, he showed some intent. And in the semifinals, he won against Marvin Bracy. Marvin Bracy somehow find himself on the podium almost all the time. It doesn't matter who is running. He finds himself on the podium. Fred Curley is almost like a photocopy of who Sharika Jackson is right now. A 400-meter runner who step down to the sprints and dominate. And he's dominating. Sharika Jackson is a 400-meter runner who stepped down to the sprint and dominates, still dominating, looking like she could be one of the top two for the 100-meter. And she is definitely the woman to beat in the 200-meter. Fred Curley, likewise. Well, Fred Curley definitely looked like he would make it to the top of the podium or on the podium for both events. Who will be able to challenge Fred Curley? Who will be able to break up that US men's sweep? Do you think it's even likely that the US men will sweep at the World Championship? And if the US men sweep, which three athletes do you think would be on that podium? The last World Championship, we saw Fred Curley at the top, Trayvon Bromell getting that silver medal, and Marvin Bracy edging out Oblique Civil to get that third spot. Now, we haven't seen or heard from the Marcel Jacobs in a very long time. It's really been a while. Noah Lyles have the 200-meter in his pocket. Definitely look like he have the 200-meter in his pocket for real. And not just the 200-meter. It seems like he have the 100-meter lined up as well, because if you look at how he challenges the US athletes, and the US athletes are at the top, he's almost always getting a first place or a second place in the 100-meter. So he is very confident in that 100-meter as much as he is in the 200-meter. Marcel Jacobs, we haven't seen much. We know that he's the Olympic champion. Marvin Bracy there in the middle. And we also have the Christian Coleman, who we cannot sleep on. Tobago, there, he ran and he got a tie with Christian Coleman. Now, Johan Blake, the veteran, he never stopped running, always trying to get on that podium, always trying to get a place. And I think he should continue to run to get his place, because whoever beats him, they would have beat a person who laid out on the track. And I'm sure that whoever beat Johan Blake in the trials, in the Jamaica trials, deserve their spot. Definitely think they deserve their spot. And he definitely needs to continue to challenge at the trials to bring out the best in the athlete who want to take that spot in the World Championship, whether 1 or 200 meters. Now, getting to the 200-meter finals, getting to the 1 and 200-meter at the World Championship last year, we saw that he was struggling a bit. He got injured very easily. So he still have that niggling injury. And somehow it worked against us trying to chase down a medal. But nonetheless, if you cannot beat Johan Blake to get a spot into the World Championship, I just don't think there's opportunity for an athlete to go there. They need to beat him to go there. Now, who is most likely to sweep? The Jamaican women 100 meter or the US men 100 meter? After two, I'm guessing the Jamaican. It's very challenging to say, only because we haven't seen the Jamaican women in action. Early season, we don't know where they are right now, but we haven't seen them in action. So it's hard to say which of the two groups will sweep. We haven't seen the US athletes in action at all, because for this year so far, the fastest US men 100-meter athlete had been Noah Lyles in the 100-meter, and he's definitely their fastest 200-meter athlete. So after two, US men or Jamaican women, who is most likely to sweep at the World Championship? Very challenging to say. I would appreciate any interaction. Please like the video as you come in. Please like the live, share, subscribe. Truly appreciate any interaction. Last year at the World Championship, Fred Curley, he was the man at the top of the podium. Do you think anybody can beat Fred Curley? Trayvon Bromell, he was the silver medalist. They are the two who led that sweep, and Marvin Bracy barely edged out Oblique Civil to get that third spot. But we also know that they have the Christian Coleman. We know that Marcel Jacob is a athlete that won the Olympics. Can he show up and do something this time around? We want to see the best competitors out there on the track. We haven't seen it in a while. We have been getting whatever. That's what we have been getting. Hoping to see the best at some point soon. The big question is, will Oblique Civil or Akeem Blake step up for the Jamaicans at any point? Do you think they have it in them to step up for the Jamaicans at any point? Journey with Kelly, do you think any record breaking likely for the 100 or 200 meters? That's a really, really good question. Any record for the 100 or 200 meter in the in the 100 and 200 meter for a woman, if all goes well, the best under the best conditions, I think both are threatened. Both. Knowing the history of who Elaine Thompson era is, knowing the consistency that Shelley and Fraser Price ended the season with last year, and seeing the hunger in MVP and Shericka Jackson. I want to say MVP and Shericka Jackson. It's possible that she could threaten that 200 meter. I wouldn't put Elaine Thompson into that 200 meter conversation because somehow she seemed injured. Against Elaine Thompson seems to be a big event runner as well. So you never know. We don't know where she is or what she's really capable of at the moment. We know what she had been capable of in the past. But where her body is right now, I have no clue. But in that 200 meter woman, it is very likely that Shericka Jackson could gun for that world record, as well as for that 100 meter, Shelley and Fraser Price and Elaine Thompson era. If that rivalry could get back to where it was, they could break that record. One of the two or both. And considering that Sha'Carri Richards, she got a feel of what those fast time is like. I don't know what to say about her. Somehow the wind, they find a way to blow her from the start to the finish line. She always gets some wind assisted times, but they're really good times. So if she was ever able to run that time by herself, then we have three women who are capable of doing some real damage to that 100 meter finals. Let me know what your thought is. Do you think that anybody will be threatening that 100 or 200 meter record in the I don't know for sure. I really haven't seen anybody running the 9.6s in a long time. And only two people, maybe three people had run the 9.6s. So the world record, the men 100 meter world record, I don't think it's under threat by any stretch of the imagination. The 200 meter world record, I can't even say for sure either, because even though Noah Lyles had been running as well as he had been running, I can't say. So for the men, it seems safe for now, but with the kind of athletes that the US are pushing out, I still would like to say that they might be able to sweep the 100 and sweep the 200 because they have the quality athletes now. And if anybody was to disrupt them in the 1 or the 200 meter, it's possible that in the 100 meter, Civil is up there. I'm not sure who else. Blake is running well. He's challenging Civil. We don't know where. It's early season. It's hard to say, right? Very hard to say. But the sweep is very likely. Disrupting the sweep, it's possible. But the sweep is really, really likely. For the women, if all the women are running at their best, the Jamaican women, I think they will be sweeping that 100 meter. Now, the order in which they will be sweeping that one is left up to health. That's what I think. It's left up to their health. Who will be the 4 women to represent Jamaica at the World Championship? This is also a really good question if you think about where track and field is in Jamaica right now. Who will be representing Jamaica in the 4x1 for a woman, in the 400 meter for a woman? Right now, we are still banking on that big three: the Elaine, Shelly and Fraser, and Sherika Jackson. Now, there are some dark horses. We have the Tina Clayton, who we are still wondering if she's up to the task. There is Natasha Morrison, and I'm not sure. She's not really a big event runner. She find a way into the big events, but that's it. She qualifies, but that's really it. I think there are some more hunger out there that will be disrupting her opportunity this time around. There is Brianna Williams. She have a new environment where she's training. We haven't seen her, but she signaled her intent that she would love to make the 100 and the 200 meter. Um, she would like to board that flight to Budapest in 116 days from now, August 19 to 27. So the four people to make that World Championship lineup, naturally, Chilean Fraser is already on. She's already made the team. Now the spots that are open is for second, third, and fourth, because we have four people that can represent Jamaica. You have a Kimber Nelson. Such a big lineup that the Jamaica. There's so many people who could fill those three spots. And if we think about how it turned out last year in that trials, Elaine Thompson almost lost her spot to Kimber Nelson, because while she was running through that tape, Kimber Nelson showed up from behind to pass Brianna Williams. Who are those four people who will make it for the Jamaica team? And it's open to the imagination at this point. I'm thinking that Sherika Jackson is safe, only because she looked like the fittest of the three. Well, I would want to say she might be the fittest of the three, because Shelley and Fraser recently pulled out of an event, and that is for personal reasons. We don't know what the reasons are, but of all the races that we have seen Sherika Jackson running, she looked good. And even when she run really, really fast time, it looked like she was still in control. So two spots look like it's already filled. Sherika Jackson and Shelly and Fraser Price, since she's an automatic qualifier for that event. What two other spots who do you think will fill the other two spots? I want to guess Elaine Thompson, because she is the quality runner that she is. She was one of the women who was a part of the sweep. And I'm still asking the question: do you think which of the two teams, the US men team for 100-meter team, or the Jamaica women 100-meter team, who do you think is more likely to sweep the 100-meter event at the World Championship in 116 days in Budapest? That's August 19 to 27. Who is most likely to sweep, the Jamaican women or the US men? And let's say, for example, I've been asking, who do you think will disrupt the US men, since they look so consistent? They have been the most consistent, right? With Fred Curley leading the charge, a 400-meter runner who stepped down to the sprints and had been dominating the same way how we see Sherika Jackson dominating. And we saw Trayvon Brummel, who somewhat flaky from time to time. He show up, other times he just doesn't show up. Both doing the sweep. Journey with Kelly is saying that both will be doing the sweep. Yeah, I think they both look like they should be doing the sweep. But if somebody was to disrupt either of the two, who do you think will disrupt either of the two? You know, we have some athletes who seems to be hungry, consistent, and deserving at this point. Not saying that because you are deserving, you will get to make it onto the podium, but if somebody was to disrupt a US or a Jamaican sweep, who do you think it would be? Which one male athlete or one female athlete do you think would make it on the podium and disrupt the Jamaica women's sweep? And also, who will take that fourth spot or even that third spot, because we don't know where Elaine Thompson is at the moment. Please remember to like the live, even if you're gone, even if you won't be sticking around. Just like the live before you leave. Appreciate all interactions, please. And Journey with Kelly, thank you for the interaction. Truly appreciate it. It goes a far way. It asks a question, it helps to drive a conversation. Truly, truly appreciate it. All right. Can anybody beat Fred Curley? It's the biggest question again. Who do you think is good enough to beat Fred Curley at the moment? Last year, he had been running really fast times. The times that Fred Curley had been running was as consistent as Shelley and Fraser Price. Shelley and Fraser Price was running some really consistent time, and Fred Curley ran consistently, and they both got the gold. It's the early season. We haven't seen much running, and I'm sure that the athletes are looking to lay it all out on the track in that big hurrah before before that busy season in the Diamond League and such. Journey with Kelly. I'm hoping for a Jamaican to disrupt the US men. That would be great. And it really looked like it could be Civil because Civil had gone much faster than Akeem Blake. But Akeem Blake had been progressively quick, and he had been progressively. It seems like he's been stacking up those sub tens. He's been stacking up the sub ten, so he's getting his body into a rhythm. It's kind of remind me of Asafa Paul. The last three races that Akeem Blake ran, he got 3 sub tens. Even though he didn't get a chance to see what his time was in the recently concluded the last race he ran. It was supposedly at sub 10, so his body got that feel. Rocky Hill, big up yourself and blessings. Thanks for joining the live. Hope you like the live before you leave at least. Appreciate the comment. There won't be any sweep or any record broken. Well, that's a strong comment at the moment. Why do you think there won't be any sweep? It's like last year, if you look at what we saw, the question is it's twofold. The US men and the Jamaican women. Which of the two would you say is more likely to sweep? No, the record not getting broken. We haven't seen anybody peaking right now and slowly peaking. We haven't seen anybody slowly peaking. So I can agree that the record may not get broken because we haven't seen anybody really running any good times or anybody consistently running. But it really takes one good race, and seeing the kind of race that Shericka Jackson ran last year, I think she could break the record. I truly think that Shericka Jackson could break the record. Elaine Thompson, we don't know what's going on with her. We don't know where she is. So she may not be fit. She may be fit and she's just holding her cards close to her chest. But knowing the caliber runner that she is, again, but then she looked like she's not the same as she was the Olympic year. Again, she ran some really poor time leading up to the Olympics and then ran a really fast time in the Olympics, then followed that up with the 10:54. So I kind of agree with you, Rocky Hill, that there won't be any records getting broken, but the sweep, very likely. All right, since there won't be a sweep, who do you think will disrupt the US men from sweeping or the Jamaican women from getting that sweep? Keisha Smith, welcome to the live. Truly appreciate the interaction. Please like the live before you leave. I appreciate the comment. I think the Jamaican men will get a 1, 2, 3 in the 100-meter at World Championship in Budapest, Hungary this year. Man, hey, that's really a strong comment. The Jamaican men, which 3 men do you think could get on the podium right now? Which 3? Right now we have 3 men on the screen here, which is Johan Blake, Akeem Blake, and Oblique Seville. These are the 3 most consistent men that we have for Jamaica at the moment. Do you think any of these men can beat Fred Curley? are Trayvon Bromell on his best day. And also, if you remember that Noah Lyles is running like a 100-meter runner, it's a really difficult and a very big uphill task for anybody to beat the US athletes at the moment. So while we may be able to disrupt them, it might not be easy to get a 1, 2, 3. Actually, it could be impossible at the moment. Journey with Kelly, Sherika or Elaine is going for that record in the 200. The thing is, the only problem with this, I think Sherika, it's possible with Sherika. But for Elaine, we haven't seen much of Elaine. And that is why I can't make any suggestion or any comment on what she will or will not do for this season. The only thing is that we know her history, and she's really good in the big moments. And even when she's fighting through an injury, she find a way to make it on the podium. Last year, she got a taste of World Championship glory by being a part of the 1, 2, 3, not getting on the top of the podium, but getting a taste. We'll see. We'll definitely see. Rocky, Rocky Hill. There are too many variables, too many people running fast, and many people are healthy. But the thing is, too many people running fast, but how fast? When you're talking about, well, you're right. You talk about some dark horses coming up with some good times at the moment. You're right. Yeah, you're very right. The only issue with that is that the they have to beat the Jamaican three, and we haven't seen them put in the kind of time that Jamaican three are capable of. Now, we haven't seen a 10-6 from Sherika Jackson yet, but she is a 10 low 7 runner. If she's able to go to get a personal best, she'll run 10-6. And if Elaine Thompson, even without a personal best, if she's able to go into her regular in what I would consider to be a regular time for her, I think that she would be very difficult to beat. And Shelly and Fraser Price, with the kind of season that she had last year, if she picked up from where she left off, I'm seeing a 1, 2, 3 for the Jamaicans. But the only problem is that I wouldn't be able to say that the order in which they would be in that 1, 2, 3. And the other question is, who do you think will be the fourth person making that lineup for Jamaica in the World Championship? Because we're allowed four since we have the World Championship, the world champion. Journey with Kelly, they do you think they yet on a bad day for the US? Sure, they could. Don't think they are there yet, but on a bad day they could. All right. So I'm guessing that is for the 100 meter. For the US to beat the US men, it's gonna be challenging if the US men are running the way how we think they are running. The way how they look last year with Fred Curley being the long distance runner, the quarter miler that he is running sprints and just dominating some really fast time, making it seems like it's nothing. And with Bracy being as determined as he is, Trayvon Brummel, with Coleman, a lot of athletes who can rival any other athlete. I'm wondering, one athlete that stood out to me, it might be Tobago because of how he run. He run really, really well. And he challenged the best and he seems confident doing it. The last race he ran against Coleman barely won, only because he's more experienced and he used more strategy than Tobago. So that's probably the only reason why he beat him. So I'm kind of rooting for Tobago at the moment. LT Elaine is LT Elaine has no match really. I think LT Elaine running the times that she is capable of has no match for sure. But the kind of athlete that Sherika Jackson seems to be, she seems to be very determined. And I think that Sherika Jackson will create a lot of problems for a lot of people and potentially she threaten that 200-meter world record. And not only that, she might threaten that 200-meter world record. Sherika Jackson is running for MVP at the moment. She's running for MVP glory, not just for herself and for her record. Two athletes left MVP and continues to do well. All right, at least one. Shirley and Fraser Price, she left MVP the same way Elaine Thompson left MVP. MVP have 1 star at the moment. And I think the goal is to make sure that star outshine the other 2 star. So Sherika Jackson is on a mission. No question about it. Rocky Hill, one cannot count out the grass and Jacobs. I agree with the grass for sure. But where is Jacob? It's been a while. The last time I heard anything about Jacob, it was an injury report. Like, what's happening to Jacob? I haven't heard from him. And the next year is an Olympic year. I'm sure he will be there to defend his title. And it won't be easy for sure. By then, I'm sure that Civil will peak. Civil will be challenging at the top. Right now, I'm still wondering who will be able to beat Fred Curley. DeGrasse being the veteran that he is and this kind of speed that he has. DeGrasse, you can't rule him out after 1 or 200 meters for sure. If anybody is to disrupt, I even think that the US men could potentially sweep the 200 meters as well. But DeGrasse, being the kind of athlete that he is, he could be one of those people who disrupt the entire thing. Keisha Smith, 1 Civil, 2 Akeem Blake, oh my, and 3 Boachi. Hey, but you can see so Keisha is a big fan of the of the Jamaica team. You really are a fan for sure. No question asked. No, Civil being the athlete that he is and the camp that he's in, he looked like he could disrupt the US men. And I would root for him to disrupt the US men because they need a disruption. Last year, he almost disrupted. In the semifinals, he won against Bracy. And then Bracy came and edged him out in the finals to get that 3rd spot. And that's that bronze medal. So that was a good win for Bracy because it was a very hard-fought win. Now, Akeem Blake is running really good, and you can see that he's running with a purpose and intention. He's the face of the Titans right now. I'm sure that he's going. He believes in himself. He believes he can beat Oblique Civil. But Boaji and Kume, I think Boaji and Kume have to push. He will need to dig so deep. Well, you know what? Sub 10 seems to be a very difficult time for a lot of athletes at the moment, to be very honest. Sub 10 seems to be really, really challenging for a lot of athletes. So I think it could give us some real entertainment, but we're talking about athletes who have been training at the senior level for a while. So it might be a little bit difficult for Boaji. And it seems like Boaji, at the point where he is, he exerted some extra pressure on himself in the Carifta after a heavy champs. And if he gets rested, we could see some good times. But we also need to remember that Tobago run away from Boaji and look back at him with maybe 30 meters to go. And he ran 9.91 in that race. Tobago is hard to beat for even Civil and Akeem Blake. It's going to be very difficult for Jamaica to get 1, 2, 3 for sure. They can disrupt the 1, 2, 3 for the US, but it's going to be hard to beat the US that many times. So, Keisha Smith, I really like those group as well. I wish they could do it. I really do, but I doubt it. Really, really doubt it. All right, Julian Alfred. That's why I said you are right, Rocky Hill. Julian Alfred is running really, really well. And it's not just her. We have seen a lot of the Jamaican athletes in college running really well. And this is why it's going to be so tricky at the trials. The only person that is safe at the moment is Shelley and Fraser Price. And then just on the farm that we're seeing from Sherika Jackson, I want to say that she probably is also safe. Not knowing what Elaine Thompson is bringing at the moment, I'm thinking that given that the Jamaica team have 4 spots in that 100-meter women, the other 2 spots, it's going to be very, very difficult. It's going to be a real dog fight to the end with all the athletes out there and the young athletes going pro, the college athlete who can still represent the country. I'm expecting that it will be a really, really big, it's going to be challenging. It's going to be a very difficult 100. But in terms of now that you put it into perspective in that way, the Jamaica team may not get that 1, 2, 3, depending on who make it to the World Championship. But if we get the 3 big names into the World Championship, they will be hard to beat because of the experience that they bring. Journey with Kelly and Rocky DeGrasse is a final. DeGrasse in a final is getting a medals for real. I can agree with that. DeGrasse will disrupt the 1 or 200-meter finals. Because somehow he have a kind of speed that it's not obvious by looking at him. It's just when he's running, you just see him start. It's just different. And he have the medals to show, but it's just doesn't look like he's that fast. When he's on the world stage, it doesn't look like he should be that fast. But the results show that he is that fast. Rocky Hill, you're still looking at 2022 and still believe that no one outside of Jamaica 3 are improving, or none of the Jamaican 3 are declining. 2022 showed that Jamaica had some decline, but we also had some improvement. That's why I keep saying Sherika Jackson. She seems to be the most improved, and the one that declined the most would have been Elaine Thompson. But then she blamed that on injury. And if that is true, we're just going on the backs of her being the big name athlete that she is and the big moment athlete that she is. So that's why I keep saying that we have 2 sure enough spot, 2. And then there's 1 spot that might not be as sure. And that spot would be the Elaine Thompson spot. Because we haven't seen much from her, and what we have seen is not the most impressive. It could be that we're saying that she's kind of holding back. She's trying to just feel out herself and try to protect her injury if the injury is still persistent. So Jamaica had been improving and declining at the same time, because outside of the big 3, we have seen some smaller names who are climbing up the ranking and even signaling some intent. That's what I feel. And outside of Jamaica altogether, the United States women in the 4x1, they beat the Jamaican team. So just the fact that the group of women won, you have 4 confident women going up against the Jamaican. At Keisha, you're thinking with your heart are just being fictitious. Well, I tell her she really love our Jamaican team group. That's the truth. She really, and that's a true patriot. I can tell that when you go champs, if you go champs, you have a team that you just root for. And you root for them, win, lose, or draw. Journey with Kelly. I'm thinking a Jamaican can do the disrupting for the 100-meter. If so, Journey with Kelly, who do you think would disrupt it? Who do you think would disrupt it for the Jamaicans? Yes, I agree that Civil is looking like the better of the 2 since the last World Championship, and even the last outing where they ran against each other. Civil got the best of him, I think, twice, and he got the best of Civil once. So they might have been building a little bit of rivalry. Karen Taylor, I think Jamaica female is 1, 2, 3. About the US men, Civil and Blake's going to give the problem long as all Blake stay healthy. So when you said Blake, you're talking about the Yuan Blake. No, Yuan Blake, I think need to continue to run for as long as he want to, because whoever beats Yuan Blake when he's running with all the intention that he's running with will be a good addition to the team. Well, they will be a very good addition to the World Championship team, because Yuan Blake laid it all out on the line. The only problem is that when Yuan Blake get to the World Championship after a couple of races, then he might get injured. That's one of the few problems that we have with him. Staying healthy throughout the entire thing. Last year, Yuan Blake ran 10.85. And the World Championship, they won the World Championship in 10.86 or something there. They did run the best time to win, or 10.88, somewhere there. Now, that's not saying that he could have won if he ran his best time, because Fred Curley ran 10.72, 9.72, sorry. 9.72, and Yuan Blake ran 9.85 in the trials. So he went into the World Championship with a medal time. If he had replicated that time, he would have won a gold medal. So it shows that he's still quick. But the big moments, you have to come up with big moment running as well. And that's why I still wouldn't rule out. And I'm sure that even Elaine Thompson is just running to get to the finals late out there on the line. Because if Elaine Thompson is in our finals right now, I am still going to root for her to win. Because she's just that big name, big moment runner. Journey with Kelly. People like Brianna, but I don't think she is hungry enough. Well, Brianna is a sweetheart, just like Shelly and Fraser Price. She have the bright smile. She's articulate. She's open and friendly. I'm sure that she's more approachable than a Tina Clayton, and maybe even more approachable than some of the others. But she's really not faster than them. That's true. She's really not faster than them. And unless she shows something soon, we still may not believe that she's as fast. And that's why I'm saying that two spots seem sure, but the other two spots seems unsure. If Shelley and Fraser Price was not in it with her automatic qualification, then it might have been three spots that are not fully certain. Because I still want to give Sharika Jackson a top three finish based on how she's running. Not just because she have the world leading time right now and she looks so it looked so easy when she was running, even without competition. But I know that when the athletes who are running on the collegiate level and those who are training as pros, they show up for that world championship trials, it will not be easy. Karen Taylor, don't count out Tina. This is the other thing, right? Tina ran 10.9, I think it's 10.95, and that was earth shattering fast, right? That was extremely fast. And we're comparing her to Brianna Williams, because how would a junior run that fast? Then what's her last name? Is it Alana Reed from Heidel. She ran 10.92 until recently. She was the fastest out of Jamaica, and she's a junior. Now, counting out Tina would be a mistake, but what is the status with Tina? She pulled out of the Velocity Fest 13. Was that just load management, or what's the situation with her? It's some of it's like they're playing games. They're playing games not just with the opponent or with the competition or the rivals, but also with the fans. It's like a guessing game at the moment. Journey with Colleen. I do not agree with the Elaine part. The Elaine part, that which part? Because I've said a few things about the Elaine. Is it that Elaine is not likely to get a spot, or do she need to run for the spot? What part? Because at this time, I think Elaine will have to run for her spot. Only because of what we are seeing at the moment or what we are not seeing. She haven't run a 100-meter race for the 2023 season yet, so we haven't seen anything. Sherika Jackson ran two 100-meter races and she impressed in both. And that was enough for me to say yes, because they're going to be running against Jamaicans as well. And running against Jamaicans, she ran the world leading time, which suggests that if she replicates that time, she's in a good spot, or maybe not, you know. All right, so Rocky Hill. Civil and none of the Blakes pose no problem to the Americans. Eh, improving Civil is where I put my my hopes. Improving Civil, because Civil as he is, he doesn't pose any threat. But we also haven't seen any time coming out of the United States, right? We haven't seen the US run any time yet. The US athletes, we know what they are capable of, but we haven't seen any time from them as yet. And it's the same thing with the Jamaican athletes. We haven't really seen the time from them as yet. We just know what they are capable of. And where that's kind of where we are at the moment. We know what Fred Curley is capable of. And if we put the Fred Curley, the Bracy, the Bromell, the Lyles, lots and lots of athletes, I just can't remember all of them from top of my head right now. They are in a better spot than most athletes in the world right now. But Civil, I think, is on the up and up. Blake is hungry, is doing his thing. And it comes down to a good or a bad day for Blake. Good day for him, bad day for the rest of everybody else. You know, that's kind of where I put Blake. But Civil could make something happen for himself. That's what I think about that one, Rocky. The Blake's Civil, I think Civil pose a slight threat, especially with him being on the backs of the racers, the shoulders of the racers track club, and trying to fill some big shoes. I do believe that Shelley is in a similar position as 2017 Bolt. Are you saying like a declining position where she just chasing a particular accolades so that she could exit the sport? Is that what you're saying on this one, Rocky? Because Bolt, somehow it seems like Bolt was he just told himself that he wanted to get to a specific spot and then he just exit the sport, and he just couldn't do enough. He couldn't wait to just get out. Is DB, thanks for joining the live, big up yourself. Is 983 is impressive. Now let me check out that one. So you're saying Isam. Is 983. Is this a 2023 time or is it just a time? Because if you look at like the 2023 time, you'll realize that the 2023 time is not a lot of athletes had been running really, really good time in 2023 so far, right? You know, we have not a lot of athletes that have been running really, really good time in 2023. We have at the top here 991, the fastest time, and that's from Terrence Jones from Bahamas. Simbini, he could be a dark horse. It's just that he hadn't been able to clock the kind of times that would be able to win a championship, but he had been a consistent sub 10 runner. Oblique Civil, the third fastest of the year 2023 with 9.95, and Noah Lyles is right there with him. And Noah Lyles is a 200-meter runner for the USA. Noah Lyles is a 200-meter runner, and he is in the top 3 right now. He's not one of the US best runners, to be completely honest. And talking about Boaje and Kumi, right? Yes, he ran a good time as a junior, but this time that he ran here, Wouldn't bring you on the podium very easily unless he replicate this and the rest of the field have a bad day. That's how good the US team is right now. The new kid on the block. Is that a junior? Is that a when was the time? When did Isam run that time? Isam 9.83 is impressive. It's like if he's running that time this year, then cool. That's really good. Coleman is going to take back his title with a full year of training under his belt. Coleman. Coleman, are you saying that Coleman is the fastest US athlete right now when he had such a difficult time beating Tobigo? Leslie Tobigo. Tobigo, he struggled with Tobigo. He just outstretched Tobigo on the final. Just it was, I don't know. I haven't seen many athletes running yet. If you look at the time here, we haven't seen many athletes. We just know that the US athletes have the best times. We haven't seen a lot of the big names here at all. They haven't been running at all. So that's kind of why I still would want to bank my observation or my analysis on 2022 season still, because the 2023 season is still young. DB win aided. Okay, so it's win aided. Well, yes. So if you get a time like that, it gives your body an opportunity to feel that kind of time. So I believe that the athletes who are feeling those fast times, they are doing something that they haven't done before, and it gives them that confidence. Even if the time was not recorded, their body felt it. So yes, it gives them that confidence. But would have to really track some of those athletes to see. Isam, where is he from? I don't know him, to be completely honest. Track boss, welcome to the live. Big up yourself. Definitely another 1, 2, 3 for us in Women 100. People can throw Elaine under the bus all they like. They will come crawling back to her when she start dominating again. The thing is, Elaine Thompson really haven't been running. That's the only thing, so that we cannot really assess her. Also, Isam Asinga, is he also a South African? Is he the South African that was in that same race with Tobigo and Boaji and Kumi, where Tobigo just obliterate the field? Yeah, so Elaine Thompson, definitely, I would never rule Elaine Thompson out of anything. And even the discussion that suggests that she's this or that, I still see Elaine as the best, other than Usain Bolt, based on just the accomplishment and based on how she managed her career. Getting the double-double is a big deal. It's really a big deal. If somebody else ever do that, it would be a big deal for them as well. And she would still be in the conversation. It's very difficult to get Elaine out of the conversation with what she had already done. It's a really big deal. So no, I would never rule Elaine out. And if Elaine make it to the finals of any world event, she's a medalist in my book, even a gold medalist, healthy or not. Kieran Taylor, yes, it is a time in 2023, but win 80 time, it don't count. Got it. Thank you. Appreciate that. Oh, so the sun, the wind literally blowing from start to finish. That kind of look like what happened to Shakari all the time. So the time that Shakari registered is really good time, but somehow is it that she really, really light, or she just know when to choose the race when the breeze are blow? Because she always have some seriously wind assisted time. Yesterday you ran it. Oh, yesterday in Florida. That's why I haven't seen it. I haven't checked any track yesterday. Probably sleep out the day. All right, Keisha Smith. Nkumi is going to make the Jamaica team to the World Championship in Hungary this year. Remember that he ran 9.99 seconds at the boys and girls championships. So yes, he will make the team. And I fully agree because if even if we look at the same chart list here, Akeem Blake, who is the second fastest out of Jamaica this year, is right there with him. And he's not the second, he's the third fastest out of Jamaica this year because he's tied with Nkume. So yes, I fully agree, but I wonder what's the report on the injury because he had that injury, even though it seems like it's a cramp. What's the report on that injury? Is he back in training? It's only if you think about it, it's only 100. Let me show you. It's only 115 days away. Only 115 days out, right? So there's still a lot of time to train, but at the same time the yeah, so there's still a lot of time to train, but at the same time you're talking about training an athlete to go beyond what he ever went before in a world championship year, to go against athletes who had been training for the same world championship for 2 years. You know, that's where it's really tricky. But he can make the team, especially with the senior athletes running, training for years only to get sub 10 recently, as well as he just gets sub 10 recently. Track boss, we can definitely expect another 1, 2, 3 from Jamaican women. Yeah, yeah. Um, Definitely. Elaine Thompson will dominate. I just can't wait to see it because I'm definitely anti Million, no doubt. Fully anti Million. Take out the 2.6 that that's an at 9.88 for 18 years old. Is it really that the conversion is that much? I was thinking it would have been a 9.9 something. I haven't done those conversions, so I wouldn't know. But that's a good time. Where is he from? Kiran Taylor. Last year the US get the best of us, but trust me, we will give them hey, the US is no joke. The US is no joke. It's just like all the Jamaican women, they are no joke. The US is very difficult to beat. That kid beat Noja Lyles yesterday in Florida. Oh, so he's American. I might have Zambia and the kid from Zambia. The kid from. Huh. Is he from Zambia or is he from America? Zambia, the kid from. And then Rocky are saying he's an American, 18-year-old American. In any event, if an athlete like this is popping up out of nowhere to run for the US, it's gonna be difficult. And you're saying an 18-year-old. This is the same age as Nkume, or even 1 year younger, if I'm correct. So you see how challenging it's gonna be for the Jamaicans to even get 2 medals, yet alone three. It's probably, if anything, it's one, and it's gonna be very difficult. But looking at the times that I'm seeing here, if this is a US athlete, but born in Zambia, but he's he is back in training. Oh, so nice, nice, nice. If he's back in training, we can wish him a speedy recovery and make sure that, and hopefully he can represent, because the thing about track and field, it's not just about running the good time. It's about the person who give us the most hope. When we see civil running, it's an unknown, so it brings a certain amount of hope. Right now, even if Yuan Blake made the team and he's doing well, he give us some kind of hope. But the known is also there. He's an athlete who will it's very likely that he'll get um injured. It's very, very likely that he would get injured. Last year, as I was saying, Bracy, he edged out Oblique Civil. It shows that he was just a more a more experienced athlete than Oblique Civil was at the time. And it comes down to the experience sometimes, because I guess running against Oblique Civil in that semifinals, and it was a close win for Oblique Civil. I'm not sure if that gave him some confidence, a confidence boost or an inflated confidence boost that allowed Bracy to come back in the final and beat him. So the big question is, what are the Jamaican athletes, or what can the Jamaican athletes actually do to get that kind of fear or respect, or potentially make their way onto the podium? Because going up against the Americans, who were hungry for a very long time, now they are very confident, right? They are very, very, very confident. But unless we are seeing the kind of times from the Jamaicans that we are confident in, we may not actually get on that podium. And we haven't seen an athlete who are just on that constant rise. You see, the same way how we see Sherika Jackson constantly, continuously improve. We haven't really seen that with the Jamaican, except, well, Akeem Blake, he constantly improve, but it's minor, it's small. It seems like it would take him another 2 3 years to get to that, maybe get to like a mid eight something, a mid 80, like 9.86 or 5, somewhere there. That's just my thought on that one. So yeah, if anybody is to disrupt the Jamaicans in the 100 that is not a Jamaican, who do you think that would be? Do you think it would be, let's say, a Talu? Talu is a veteran. Maybe she's in the same boat as a Shelley Fraser, who is just can't wait to retire. Maybe it's a who do you think? Let me know. Who do you think would disrupt the Jamaican women? And as a matter of fact, which event do you think the Jamaicans would surprise the world with in this World Championship coming up? Is there an event that you think the Jamaicans are capable of surprising the world with at the moment? We know that we have a good opportunity to get medals in the 100, the 100 women, the 200 women. And how many medals do you think we'll probably get in the 200-meter women? My guess is that we could get, I want to say two. I want to say two. But again, with the kind of athletes that we are seeing, please drop a comment down below and let me know if you can hear me. I don't know if the signal dropped or anything. Just drop a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. All right, please drop a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Somebody, please. Somehow I'm not sure if my signal dropped, or please drop a 1. And the question was, who do you think the Jamaicans, which event do you think the Jamaicans could surprise with? Okay, all right, Journey with Kelly. Thank you. Appreciate it. Keisha Smith, you're saying 1 civil goal Akeem Blake Silver, Johan Blake bronze at the World Championship in Budapest. Okay. Hey, we have a manifest on this, Keisha. Seriously, you'd have a manifest. Hey, yeah. All right. If anybody was to disrupt this 1, 2, 3 sweep that Jamaica would make, right? Who do you think would disrupt it? Because that's a big ask. I tell you, that's a really, really big ask to ask Jamaica. Remember, it's a big ask, very big ask. Which event do you think Jamaica will surprise us in? The 110. You see, well, Karika Hill, she ran a really good time as a junior, but at the same time, that's the world record is 12.06, 12.012. 12. It's gonna be difficult. Carla 72. Keisha, you're dreaming. That's like saying Shakari getting gold. DSA silver, tallow bronze. It's really kind of like that for real, Keisha. Yeah. If you put it into perspective, really difficult. Very, very, very difficult. Extremely. It's almost impossible. It's very impossible. Almost close to impossible. Because Jamaica really, Jamaica really cannot. It hard. It's a Keisha's bit. No, that nah go happen. What? Shakari now go in goal. Or Jamaica now go get 1, 2, 3. Because it was exactly same thing, you know. Love Jamaica, you know. Love Jamaica, but yeah, that now got for you. It really now got. Shemal, big up yourself. Thanks for joining the live. Keisha chest high. Keisha is a true patriot. And she's you want to have a cheer for you every single time. You know, she you want you definitely want Keisha to cheer for you. But before it was in Kumi was gonna get the make the team. Right? It was in Kumi that was gonna make the team. But earlier I asked some question. I don't know if anybody was here when I was asking these questions. It's a list of questions that was just to drive the conversation. Who can join the US? Who can join? If not the Jamaicans, who can join the Americans on the podium? So let's say that the Jamaicans weren't able to disrupt that 1, 2, 3 sweep. Who can join them? What do you think? My bet is Tobago. Tobago, because and I know that we haven't seen much from Marcel Jacobs, even though he was the champion, the Olympic champion. We haven't seen much from there are a few at least that we haven't really seen much from, who should have been. Shakari now get no medal at the World Championship. That's strong possibility to Shakari now go get now go to the World Championship. But when you think about even the US women, Hobbs, Hobbs really putting on a show right now in the early season. I don't know if she's just running a lot of races to get her confidence up, but she's one of the athletes to watch for sure because she had been consistent, way more consistent than most. Hold on a minute. I'll go ahead and share the. Sorry, if you look at the 100 meter right now, if you look at the 100 meter women right now, you'll realize that we have one Jamaican who run our very first 100 meter on Saturday, and she's now the world leading. We haven't seen Ilian Thompson yet. She didn't run a single 100 meter, and we haven't seen um, Shillian Fraser Price. Now, this is one of the big three out of Jamaica, and the one that we are that might be the fittest at the moment. So yes, we can be confident that she's gonna make it to the World Championship. We know for sure that Shelley Fraser will make it to the World Championship. It's also a good possibility that Alia Hobbs will make it to the World Championship. Um, this was the fastest time at one point, Alana Reid, because she ran a sub 11 as a junior. But even with this time, it's very unlikely that Alana Reid would make the team. And we're saying don't sleep on Tina Clayton, right? I don't think Tina have a really, really, really good shot of making the team. I don't know if she have a really good shot because Jamaica have a lot of athletes. You see, Natasha Morrison here, she ran second in that velocity fest. And see, this is the time from Saturday, 11:08. This is a regular time for Natasha Morrison. My guess is that she won't make it she won't make it this time around. But that's my guess. But this is a regular time for her. She had been the number 3 for Jamaica or number 4 for Jamaica for a very, very long time. Now, look at this list here. Jamaica, right? We haven't seen some of the big names running. But if you look at this list, it's dominated by Jamaica and the USA. Dominated by Jamaica and the USA. Even more USA athletes on this than the Jamaicans, right? USA athletes, just all over the place. If anybody is to disrupt the Jamaicans, it will be a US athlete. But which one? It's hard to tell. It's very, very hard to tell. But if somebody is to disrupt the Jamaican woman, it will be a US woman. Now, Alia Hobbs, at one point, she had the fastest time, the fastest indoor athlete this year. She ran against Shericka Jackson. She beat Shericka Jackson in 60 meter. So she have some confidence. Naturally, that's not enough because Shericka Jackson is a quarter miler who became a 200 meter, then 100 meter, and she used to running through the tape. Beating her in a 60 meter is completely different from beating her in a 100-meter race. The Jamaican athletes, the Elaine Thompson, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, Shericka Jackson. The way how Shericka Jackson manhandled everybody else in the Velocity Fest, I just cannot imagine anybody. Well, Kimber Nelson didn't run in that race. Kimber Nelson was the 4th athlete to the World Championship last year. She'll have to run for her spot as well. Won't be easy. Shericka Jackson manhandled everybody pretty much. Easy. Made light work. Tina Clayton backed out. She didn't show up for that event. And it was Tia who showed up. Tia definitely couldn't step up. Right now it seems like what's her name? Alana Reid would beat Tia Clayton very, very easily. So there's a lot that is riding on the big 3. And I'm sure that if you are an athlete like Elaine, who we don't know what is the situation with her, she would be looking at that and saying that, all right, her spot is among those 3, and her goal is to beat one or two, one of them. If you can beat one of them, you'll be medaling. The goal is like which place you'll get on that podium, I think, at the moment. But again, we haven't seen the 2 other athletes other than Shericka Jackson running. So at the moment, Shericka Jackson is literally the best bet for Jamaica. Remember, guys, please like the live, please share if you haven't done so as yet. Yesterday, I'm not sure if anybody was watching that race between what's his name, the race with Akeem Blake where his time, he would have had a better time. I'm guessing he would have had a better time if the times had gotten registered properly in that event. And yes, I did make a video about that one asking because I thought he won the race. How do you run a race through to the end and still didn't he won? It was clear that he won. How do you run a race through to the end and it's a false start? That's kind of a confusing situation. One person was saying that because he didn't, because it was a false start is why the clock didn't go off. That makes a lot of sense. But is that the real reason, or did the officials just call it a false start because it made them look better? It's kind of a problem for a world-class event. If you're gonna have a world-class event and an athlete make a false start and is able to run through to the end, how do you deem it a false start after a finish? You see what I mean? Like it's kind of taking some kind of credibility, and over time, this could cause the Jamaican officiating to get called into question because the times are going to be questioned. You're going to be People are going to be concerned whether or not these are real time. If the athletes are able to run through a tape from start to finish and then waiting to see their time only to find out that you actually false started. If that athlete false started, if there was a problem with the clock, if there was a problem with the start, if there was a problem with officiating, then there might be a problem with a lot more things, if that makes sense. Because the time, I remember watching a video where somebody was interviewing him and asked him, what was your time? And he must say, bossy, the time missing, daddy. The time missing, like me there wait for. If you think about that, the Jamaican officiating, as much as they are producing high class and high level athletes, those times, at least putting in the work to break the to create personal best and potentially season best, only to find out that tracking the time had gone wrong, which caused them to lose a full event and put them in a spot where they don't know where they really are, and then probably put into question what the Jamaican athletes, what the Jamaican officiating really look like. I think it's kind of a problem to some extent. That's one thing that I was really looking into from a Jamaica perspective, being the kind of country that we are, and we held the Carifta Games we held them accountable for all the mishap and the controversial calls and officiating. I think that one for sure need to be ironed out. And also for athletes who make it to an event. Sorry. If an athlete if an athlete is scheduled to be a part of an event and back out of the event at some point, do you think the athlete is obligated to let the fans know that they are not gonna be a part, or would it be the event organizers who would be responsible for saying that the athlete will not be participating and potentially will give some reasoning behind why? Because at some point we're seeing that the athletes are held accountable. And to be honest, an athlete is not just an athlete anymore. An athlete is a full brand and a company and a organization, institution, and everything all in one. So it could be where the athlete is responsible for putting out that kind of information. But is it really the athlete's duty to put that information out there? Or is it the meet organizers' responsibility to put the information out there and set expectation for the crowd? That one is another interesting one, because if you have been tracking some of the events on social media surrounding that Velocity Fest where Elaine did not show up, it somehow she got a lot of backlash for something that seemed like she had a last minute addition and a last minute withdrawal from the event. That last minute, both of them did not give an explanation. Neither of the two. The last minute addition, there were no explanation really. The last minute withdrawal, there were no explanation. So it really comes down to who are producing this kind of information to begin with. On the website, it was there that she would have run, and not Tia, even in the for that Velocity Fest. The athlete that was promoted on that in the races were the athlete was Tina Clayton, not Tia. Ultimately, Tia ran and Tina didn't show up. There are some things that is to left. We still have a few things that is lacking in the organization of all of this, and that is why a lot of people have to just continue speculating about what is happening with the athletes, what's happening with the events, where is this athlete, and what is their status, what's the progression look like. There's so many things. As a result, we conjure up some kind of thought in our heads. Some of them not so pleasant, because somehow the athlete get blamed for things that maybe should have been outside of their control. I don't know what you guys feel about that one. In any event, thanks so much for joining the live. Truly appreciate all the comments, all the interaction. It was entertaining seeing that we will be winning a sweep in the men 100 meter. That one is definitely something that I'll be looking forward to, because that would give us 6 medals, because we definitely will be winning a sweep in the 100 meter. Nonetheless, truly appreciate everybody who stopped by. Thanks for the comment, the interaction. Carla 72, thanks for stopping by. Shemal, thanks for the interaction. Journey with Kelly, always here. Truly appreciate it. Keisha Smith, you're definitely a stand-up comedian. Really appreciate you stopping by. Karen Taylor, pick up yourself. Truly appreciate it all. I'll be wrapping this one up here. Rewrite narrative. If you haven't liked the video, please like the video before you leave. Truly appreciate that. That's kind of how the videos get pushed out. That's that's the biggest help that you could give. If you haven't subscribed, I would appreciate that. But liking the video is equivalent to a subscribe in my book. Rewrite narrative. Like, share, and subscribe. I hope you all have a wonderful night. I'm gonna say peace. I'm out.